Have you ever noticed how some women do not flirt directly? They test your awareness instead. Especially when you are a man over 50, women behave differently around you. They do not want to appear desperate. They do not want to seem easy. So instead of showing their interest openly, they ask things. And here's the part most men never realize. A woman who wants genuine intimacy with an older man will always ask two specific questions. Always. It is like a code hidden in plain sight, and most men walk straight past it without registering a single thing. Men over 50 often operate under the assumption that they have become invisible to women. That age has moved them outside the frame of genuine romantic interest. But the truth is the precise opposite. Mature men are more compelling than ever to women who understand what they are actually looking for. The real problem is not invisibility. It is misinterpretation. It is going through life thinking she is just being polite when in reality she was opening a door and you did not notice until she quietly closed it again. Women rarely reveal attraction directly. What they do instead is test your emotional presence, your calmness, your ability to actually notice what is happening beneath the surface of an ordinary conversation. That is what feminine psychology is built around. And the moment a woman begins seeing you as a man she could trust, emotionally, practically, intimately, she shifts from casual conversation to intentional curiosity. She starts asking questions designed to expose three specific things. Whether you are grounded or insecure, whether you are emotionally open or sealed off inside your routines, and whether you are sharp enough to recognize interest when it is being extended to you. This is exactly where the two questions appear. To understand why they matter, you need to understand the psychological foundation underneath them. Most men over 50 grew up in a world where people said what they meant. You expect straightforward signals. But women, even mature women, communicate through a completely different architecture. They do not say, I am attracted to you. They do not say, I want to get closer. They do not say, I have been thinking about you. Instead, they probe. They ask carefully constructed questions to determine whether you are a man they can lean toward without being rejected. Because here is the specific fear that underlies this. If I show my interest too directly, he will think I am desperate. So she places her interest inside questions that look innocent to anyone who does not know what they are actually listening for. And if you miss them, she will not try again. Women rarely make the same emotional offer twice. Feminine psychology works in layers. Women use questions the way men use actions. When a man is interested, he offers something, a gesture, presence, guidance, protection. When a woman is interested, she asks something. A question that reveals her desire for emotional closeness without ever naming it directly. There are dozens of questions a woman might ask across any ordinary interaction, but only two appear consistently when she is genuinely exploring intimacy with a mature man. These questions are not informational. They are relational. They are small emotional bridges placed between herself and the man she is drawn to, just to see whether he will step onto the bridge with awareness and presence. And when a man does, everything changes. Most men answer these questions literally, but a grounded man understands what lives underneath the words. Because the moment she asks either of these questions, she is not gathering data. She is checking connection. She is checking your attention. She is checking whether your masculine awareness is actually present or simply being performed. Women do not need you to demonstrate wealth or status or long, impressive histories. They need to feel your awareness. The calm, settled masculine presence that younger men almost never carry. This is precisely why these two questions are so significant. They are not casual curiosity. They are invitations. Here's the first question. Do you spend a lot of time alone? At first glance, it looks entirely innocent. But make no mistake. This is a signal. This is a woman's way of asking whether there is room for her in your world. Whether you are emotionally open or emotionally sealed, whether you have space for genuine intimacy, or whether you are completely contained inside your own routines with no gap for anyone new to enter. She phrases it in different ways depending on the context. Do you usually go out alone? You seem like someone who enjoys their own company. Is that true? Are you seeing anyone or just doing your own thing lately? Each variation is asking the same underlying question. And it is never about loneliness. It is about access. A woman asks this question only when she is already imagining herself somewhere near your life. She is assessing whether you are receptive or whether approaching you would require forcing her way through emotional walls you have no interest in lowering. If she had no interest in you, she would not care how you spend your time. But when she is drawn to you, the way women are frequently drawn to mature men who radiate quiet, settled strength, she needs to know whether intimacy is even possible before she risks showing anything more directly. Most men answer this literally. Yes, I keep to myself a lot. No, not really, depends on the week. And in doing so, they completely miss the actual question being asked. A grounded man hears the meaning underneath and responds accordingly. Not with a performance, but with genuine balanced clarity, something like, I enjoy my space, but I am never closed off to good company. Or, I value my routines, but I am always open to someone who brings something real. This kind of response does two things simultaneously. It communicates emotional availability without any trace of desperation. And it gently signals that she might be exactly the kind of person you would welcome into your world. Open without being empty. Receptive without being hungry. Strong without being closed. That precise combination is what creates warmth and possibility in her mind. And it leads her naturally toward the second question, the one that reveals her intention most clearly. Here is the second question. What are you looking for these days? This is not small talk. This is not idle curiosity. This is a woman evaluating you as a genuine romantic possibility. Women do not ask something this loaded to men they feel nothing toward. It is too vulnerable, too revealing, too intimate for a question asked in passing. Women reserve this for men they are already considering in a meaningful way. She frames it in variations. What do you want at this stage of your life? What are you focusing on lately? What kind of direction are you moving in right now? What are you hoping to find? Each version is the same question underneath. She is reading your internal compass. Because for a woman to open herself emotionally or physically to a man, particularly a mature man, she needs to feel something specific. She needs to feel that he knows who he is. That he is not wandering, that he is not still tangled in unresolved past relationships, that he is not simply passing time and calling it living. She needs to feel that this man moves with intention. This question is her way of finding out whether your life is heading somewhere she would want to walk toward. Men who answer this too literally lose the moment immediately. I am just looking for peace. Taking it day by day. Not sure right now. These answers communicate one thing above everything else. Drifting. And women do not invest emotionally in men who are drifting. Regardless of age, regardless of how genuinely good they are, the response that builds genuine attraction is not a rehearsed speech. It is simply directional. Something like, I am building a simpler and stronger chapter in my life with the right people around me. Or, I am looking for connection that feels natural, not something forced or complicated. Or, I am focused on living with more intention, meaningful experiences, real conversations, people worth having around. These answers do three things. They show you are moving rather than stagnating. They show you have emotional clarity about what you actually want. And they open a space where she can quietly see herself fitting into your direction. That is exactly what she was hoping to find. A sign that you are not emotionally asleep. A sign that entering your world would mean entering something real. Here is the psychology that links both questions together. When a woman asks whether you spend time alone, she is probing your openness. When she asks what you're looking for, she is probing your direction. A man who is open and has direction creates something women respond to at a level that operates below conscious thought. He creates emotional gravity. He becomes someone worth leaning toward. And women do not need perfection from a man in order to feel that pull. They need clarity, because clarity creates safety. And safety is the foundation from which genuine desire grows. These two questions appear across cultures and ages and contexts because they tap directly into the architecture of feminine psychology. Even when the woman asking them has not consciously decided she is testing you, she is. And if you recognize what is actually happening in those moments, you gain a clarity about whether she is interested that most men spend years missing. When she opens the door with these questions, it is once. She rarely reopens a door she closed quietly after receiving no response worth walking toward. A woman who wants intimacy with you will not announce it. She will not confess it openly. She will ask you two questions. One, to find out whether you are emotionally open. Want to find out whether you are emotionally alive? Recognize them. Respond with presence. And watch how quickly the entire dynamic between you shifts.